Hi friends, so this will be an update about what's really going on right now when it comes to the global events and how it all relates to what we've been talking about in all our previous videos. So friends, if you go back to my previous videos, you can always refer to them, and I've made some very big predictions and about the events that are going to happen in these 10 years that we are in right now. And one of the event two rather were the cyber pandemic that is going to happen, that is going to take the entire world by surprise and bring it down to its knees. Plus, the most important event I've kept on stressing again and again is the food shortages, the artificially created food shortages. Now, when I talk about the cyber pandemic, which is not the topic of the discussion today, but I'll touch base upon it. The cyber pandemic I'm talking about, when we talk about cyber warfare, people, whatever comes in the mind of the masses is uh, like the websites getting hacked, or the banking or the banks uh, getting hacked. So it relates to that also. That is a part of it, but it's not solely that. That is a small portion of it. What I talk about when I talk about cyber pandemic, it's bringing your complete power structure, your power grids, your gas infrastructure, your water infrastructure, everything to a halt. Again, it will be it will come out of a blue like a black swan event, and no one will be given a prior notice about it. What all we can do is be wise and prepare for it in advance while you still have time. I keep on saying that again and again. However, the topic of discussion today is the global food shortages. I kept on saying again and again that the next major event after, in parallel to this CV mess, because this CV mess, the COVID mess is not going away anytime soon. It's there. It's there with us. We have to stay with this, and we have to take that mystery juice. We have to put that mystery juice inside of us on a regular basis. I am not taking it. I urge you also not to take it, because the consequences will not be good, and that will be out there for all the world to see. But then it will be too late. However, that's also is not the topic of discussion for today. Let's come back to our food shortages. So, friends, 90% of the news that you see in the mainstream media is noise. Don't get yourself entrapped and entangled in it. Look beyond it. Look what is the end goal that the powers that we are trying to achieve by these chain of events. Like in the stock market, it's the exact same thing. When you pick up a particular stock by doing a deep fundamental research of a stock, of a company, and you understand the vision of the management, then you are not impacted by day to day negative or positive news about that particular company, because you know the vision, you know the fundamentals of the company, and you ignore all that noise that comes around about that company every day on news channels. Similarly, whatever is going on right now with the energy crisis, don't get yourself entangled in how this is happening, what's the reason. That is not going to help us, and we cannot do anything about it. For example, people are saying, oh, China is now facing the most severe power crisis in modern history. And why? Because they banned the import of coal from Australia because of the trade wars that is going on between China and Australia. Wait a minute. That is not. See, whenever something happens, these people try to justify it, that this happened because of this. Like the CV thing, they said it came out of the China um, red meat market kind of thing. So they will justify all the things. But that is not important. The important thing is what they are trying to achieve out of it. If it was only because of the Australian coal import ban put on by China on Australia, then why the news are coming that in India also, out of nowhere, out of blue, the coal stock is left only for a few days, and the countries can potentially face a huge energy crisis. Why the news is coming all of a sudden that Europe is going to face huge power crisis and it can be a dark Christmas for the Europeans. Why it's coming all of a sudden and the US government is warning its citizens that this Christmas they may not have enough variety of food stuff that they are used to during the year-end holidays because of the supply chain constraints, and they are attributing all the supply chain constraints to what's happening in China. Now, don't pay attention to this. Just look about what is the end goal that is to be achieved because of all this. It is the artificially created food shortages, as I kept on saying you again and again. It can happen in next year, 2022, or it can happen in 2023. When it will be so severe, people will have all the money in the world, but they'll not be able to buy enough food. This will happen because of three things. They will use three things to do this. One is this energy crisis that we are facing right now. This will bring the complete supply chain structure to a halt. No matter how much food you have in the world, if you don't have the food in the supermarket or the store near you, on the food shelves, you're not going to have access to that food, no matter how much those are in the world. And that depends on the supply chains. If the power grid, the power infra comes to a halt, the gasoline stations don't work. The trucks don't move. The stuff or the stock in the supermarkets is not going to be replenished. At that point of time, the sheep, which reacts to all the thing after the event has happened, which are reactive to events rather than being proactive, they go to the supermarket. People are there by thousands and they're not able to get anything because the shelves are empty. So you have to prepare for yourself before that happens. Secondly, keep cash in hand, as I always keep on saying, for at least a couple of months. Also keep some gold and silver handy with you in physical form, if you can. In the smallest possible denominations, not the big chunk, the smallest possible denominations that you can exchange for something if such a scenario happens. Now, that is one of the factors out of the three that they will use to create this artificial food shortages. One is the supply chains coming to a complete halt. Second, artificially created famines and floods. The place where it rains, it will rain so much that it destroys all the crops. Where it doesn't rain, it will not rain at all. Even if the clouds come, those will be made to disappear. So all these are weather modification techniques that will be used in the countries that are major agri-based economies who export food to the major countries in the world. Say, for example, California is a part of the US which does that. India, China, Brazil, Australia. So these are the countries that will be targeted with abnormal kind of weather phenomenon where the crops are destroyed in big amounts. The third and the final is which I've told you that I'll discuss in the future videos with you. I've been telling this since last year, but today I'm going to discuss about that, and that is the murder hornets. This is the single most important news you listen out on YouTube, my friends. I don't know why people don't cover this, why the news channels don't cover this. This is the most important thing that is going to impact your very life in the very near future. And I'm going to discuss that right now with you. That is the murder hornets. Now friends, before I jump to that, murder hornets are very strange and dangerous insects, much bigger than honeybees. Those are of the size of a human thumb. And only a couple of murder hornets can destroy complete colonies of thousands and thousands of bees. And they just literally massacre honeybees in thousands. Why I'm saying this is, if you go to Google, friends, if you go to Google, you see, according to the United Nations Environment Program, of the 100 crop varieties that provide 90% of the world's food, 71 are pollinated by honeybees. Are you understanding the brevity of the situation? Are you understanding how much honeybees are attributing to your and my life? Just imagine this. What percentage of world food crops are pollinated by bees? 80%. Bees pollinate 80% of the world's plants, including 90 different food crops. 1 out of 3 or 4 bites of food you eat is thanks to bees. Remember this, 1 out of every 3 or 4 bites of food you eat on a daily basis is thanks to bees. The honeybee is responsible for 15 billion US dollar agricultural crops each year. So that is, yeah. So every 1 of 3 or 4 bites that you eat is thanks to honeybees. So that's why Albert Einstein said, the moment honeybees disappear out of the planet, the moment honeybees disappear from the face of the planet, human beings have approximately around 4 years left to live. That's how important honeybees are. So let's come back to the main article that I'm going to discuss with you today. Now, the most important point is this article is coming on livescience.com, which is a reputed science website out in the US. Now, the thing is, this article came out. The thing I have a major concern is this article came out in May of 2020, last year May. I knew about that. I'm making my video now, but I told about these in my previous videos last year, that I'll be making some videos sometime about this. Although I'm making it right now, 1 year later. But the point is, why the news channels and why other YouTubers are not making videos on this most important stuff that is going to impact you and me in a very, very big way. Anyways, let us cover and understand what this really is. Now, these monstrous murder hornets, friends, these have been from time immemorial in parts of Asia, Southeast Asia, like countries like Japan and all. For the first time, these were detected in 2019 in North American continent and Europe. Why? The reason we are getting is no one knows. So all the things that happen like this, like the CV thing and this, the justification is we don't know how it happened. We don't know from where it came. So if you get this kind of justification that we don't know from where it came, it was all manufactured in a lab. Now, native to Asia, so monstrous murder hornets have reached the US. This should send chill down your spines. Native to Asia, the giant insects rip off the heads of honeybees by the thousands. So this is how they look like. Now, massive, deadly hornets, affectionately known as murder hornets from hell, have been spotted in the US for the first time. These ancient hornets, Vespa mandarinia, are the size of a thumb. They're orange-headed and orange-striped, and they're extremely pointed at the back end. So the hornets which were detected in the Washington state prey on bees and are known for ripping the heads off honeybees by the thousands. Yeah. So enormous curved strings and powerful venom make the hornets uniquely dangerous to humans, and their stings are responsible for as many as 50 deaths in Japan each year. Now, this Vespa mandarinia is native to forests and low-altitude mountains in East and Southeast Asia, but troubling evidence suggests that the hornet is beginning to make some headway in North America. This is last year. Imagine what's the situation now. Now, entomologists are racing against the clock to learn how widespread the invaders are in the US and to isolate and destroy invasive populations before the hornets become so numerous that they settle in for good. Yeah? Carrying on. The Washington State Department of Agriculture verified 2 sightings of Asian giant hornets in early December 2019. WSDA received 2 more accounts describing the invasive insects but those remains unconfirmed. No one knows how the Hornets arrived in the US. So this is again, no one knows how the Hornets arrived in the US. So if they say you no one knows, you know where it's coming from. But they may have been introduced as other types of invasive insects have. They were deliberately released or transported here in unseen stowaways in international cargo. Now, whoever said this, I'm not sure whether they are still in the job or they've been fired. I don't know. Yeah, but this is what really happened, obviously. Now, hornets are large members of the wasp family, and Asian giant hornets are the biggest hornets in the world. So these are the sizing. Yeah. Now the pain from their sting is significant, like a hot nail through my leg. Masato Ono, an entomologist at Tamagawa University near Tokyo, told. These so-called killer hornets made headlines worldwide in 2013 when a series of attacks in China injured hundreds of people and killed 28. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Hunt, slaughter, occupy. European honeybees are the most to fear from this deadly predator. Vespa minderinia are social hornets, and they are the only known wasp species to coordinate attacks on bee colonies, which they carry out with deadly precision. Attacks on beehives happen in three phases. First, the hornets hunt individual bees from the hive that has been chemically marked by one of their sisters. The hornets rip the bees to pieces, carrying the dismembered bits back to their own hive and feeding them to hornet larvae. Next is the slaughter phase, where dozens of hornets attack the hive and massacre tens of thousands of bees. Remember this. Within a few hours, a strong, healthy, and populous honeybee colony of 30,000 to 50,000 workers is slaughtered by a group of 15 to 30 hornets. So 15 to 30 hornets can destroy a complete colony of around 50,000 honeybees. This is how dangerous they are. Finally, the hornets move into the defeated hive. They chew up the abandoned bee larvae and pupae in a bee bread paste, which the hornets also feed to their young. During this stage, the hornets are especially aggressive and may attack animals and humans that are fortunate enough to wander too close to the occupied beehive. Now, hot defensive bee balls. Now, European honeybees are powerless against giant hornets attacks because this will be the first time that they'll be facing these kind of deadly insects. But Japanese honeybees. Now, Japan is the area where these hornets have been there from time immemorial. So, over the period of time, the Japanese honeybees, being intelligent, have devised a kind of a defensive technique that protect them against attacks from hornets. Now, what that is Japanese honeybees have evolved a unique defensive against these hornets. They form hot defensive bee balls, swarming individual hornets and vibrating their flight muscles to generate heat. Inside the ball, like they come together like a ball and they start vibrating their flight muscles to generate heat. Now, inside the ball, temperature built to around 116 degrees Fahrenheit, around 47 degrees Celsius, cooking the trapped hornets to death. Now, Japanese honeybees are the only bee species with special brain cells that allow them to collectively thermoregulate just enough heat to kill the hornets without hurting themselves. So, this is the thing. Giant hornets from Asia made their first foray into North America in Canada. So first it came out in Canada with sightings of 3 Vespa minderinia hornets reported in British Columbia's Vancouver Islands in mid-August 2019. Okay. Springtime is also when Asian giant hornets are likely to become active in Washington state. Now, Should the Asian giant hornets become established in the US, its impact on native bee populations would be severe enough to cause significant disruptions. Now, what these disruptions will be? Food disruptions. Because then, if honeybees are destroyed by thousands, they will not be able to pollinate, and you will not be able to get enough food. So, this is something that is, when the time is right, the powers that be would release these hornets out on innocent honeybee colonies in the US, in the complete North American continent, and Europe. And imagine what havoc it would cause. So, this is something that I wanted to discuss with all of you today. Just let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Whether we should just ignore this like just another news, or whether it is something that we should be worried about. Also, I told you in the past as well, friends. I told you in the past as well. I'm a rather busy person with my work schedule as well as my personal things and meditation and all those things. So I don't make videos that are professionally edited. I have all the tools with me. I know the know-how. I know how to get a video from a very good camera. I have everything. I have all the tools at my disposal. But I cannot do all that video like the professional video editing and put out the video in front of all of you because I don't have time. I don't have time for all this. So all those people who are listening to me, if you are interested more about how professionally the video is made, then maybe this is not the right place for you to be. However, all those people, most of my subscribers, who are not interested in all that but are interested in the content or the news that I have to offer, then I think you will not be disappointed. I hope. Again, I will not be able to make videos every week. However, if someone is willing to say on Skype or Zoom or whatever, someone is able to interview me, or if we can have if you want maybe a live session, a live streaming session, maybe it can be up for 1 hour or 2 hours, I can do that. In that case, you can ask as many questions as you can about all these different things that I keep covering, and we can talk. In that way, I'll not be it will be exciting for me also, like it will be a two-way communication. So and all, I can put all the information that I have to offer to you in that one particular video, like in a condensed form, and we can put out there on YouTube. So if anyone out there is trying to interview or is trying to if they want to have if they want me to conduct a live streaming session where they can ask questions that I can answer, then most welcome. Just let me know in the comment section below, and we can see the feasibility of that. That's it, friends. Keep a close eye on what's happening. Regarding just one word regarding the stock market around the world, the trend is still high. If you want to make some bucks, the trend is still high. There can be minor corrections, maybe 2 or 3% correction in the near term, but still the trend is high, and the markets across the world will keep on creating new highs because we are in a kind of a melt up kind of a situation right now before the meltdown happens, and that will be the mother of all crashes. But there is still somewhere down the line. So that is one thing that I just wanted to share. So that's it, friends. Have a great day. Just let me know what you think about the content that I shared in this video, and how you if you are interested in having some live session on some interviews. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.